the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
This is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by
Just Add Power, the global leader in video over IP solutions with systems that give you easy installation, unmatched scalability, and outstanding performance.
Welcome to ResiWeek. In this special episode, we touch on the best stories of 2020. Now, 2020 started out like normal, but, well, it didn't end anything like something we've seen before. What else can you say about 2020? This is the year that has been a complete oddity for pretty much every industry, including our own, due to a massive number of life-changing events and things going on globally. So today we are going to put a little bit of normality back into it and take a look back at some of the biggest stories and biggest events that 2020 had to offer. We start in March, where it was announced that BT Sport and Samsung had partnered together to bring 8K streams of Premier League games this year. Now, 8K is not that new of a development, but in most residential spaces where we were just starting to make 4K a regular commodity, 8K is not at all in March that normal. Now, this was going to be and is one of the first big pushes for 8K content in the Western world. On ResiWeek 213, Ron Callis starts off talking about what this means for the ultra resolution space moving forward.
The typical home in America is getting somewhere right around, and I was actually just reading this white paper last week for a presentation, but Cisco's white paper where they talk about analysis of internet feeds globally. You know, the typical home in America, and I'm not going to quote this fact exactly right, but I want to say it's somewhere around maybe 50 megabytes per second or something. Well, in the story, they're talking about this 48 gigabit stream compressed down to 70 megabytes, looked almost identical. They said if you were right on the screen, you could see a little bit of fuzz on the players' jerseys. I tell you what, 70 megabit per second. I mean, in my house, I live in Fort Lauderdale. My community has AT&T fiber feed. My house is getting consistently about 900 megabyte per second up and down all day long. Now, I'm not a fan of, European soccer, so I would not subscribe. But if the idea that my internet speed was enough and I now could view that, and of course you have to go out and buy that 8K TV. And so I think it's good news for our industry. Our industry is always looking for the new, exciting technology. And if this vendor and others come online, I'm assuming there'll probably be similar solutions for the upcoming Olympics. Then that's the reason our industry gets to get out and talk about a reason to buy and upgrade into an 8K TV. Without the content, it's hard to make that sale.
Yeah. Lewis, I love Ron's point at the end there. Without the content, it's hard to make the sale. We've been watching the manufacturers push next gen, right? First 4K came, and then 4K HDR came. And then, of course, they started with 8K over the last 2 years. We've seen it. I've personally seen the upconvert from Samsung in their 4K and then their 8K, which is an upconverted 4K for a regular 4K stream. Seeing what's going on, at what point do you start to make the pitch to your clients to at least prepare infrastructure for 8K?
3 years ago. I mean, honestly. But at the same time, residentially, over the last 6 months, I haven't sold maybe but 3 4K displays. They've all been 8K. Even though there's no content, with the infrastructure, the wiring, like you said, 900 meg. I got 600 meg download speed with Suddenlink cable, and AT&T in Dallas fiber and Frontier, which used to be Verizon Fios. Man, they've got gigabit technology, and so a up converted 4K properly integrated is pretty freaking nice on an 8K Samsung or a Sony. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
And put them side by side in a regular 4K and an 8K, up converted 4K on an 8K display. It's amazing. And honestly, the client hasn't bit back one bit, hasn't had one problem spending an extra $300 to $600 on a beautiful 82-inch.
Is that just a nature of it's the new generation, it's what's available, or is it an actual pitch?
Well, it's true because it's an actual pitch. And as a designer, I have to think from a perspective of functionality and upgradability. And the first and most important thing we teach to our clients is network is king.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, don't be obsolete. And with an 8K display or with 900 meg or 1 gig internet coming into the home and proper wiring, I'm less obsolete than a lot of people.
Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.